And welcome to Trojans Live, presented by your Southern California BMW Centers on the Beast 980, where we feed on LA sports. It is rivalry week, and we have a guest list to match the occasion, starting with the head coach Steve Sarkisian, followed by quarterback Cody Kessler, and then former quarterback Matt Barkley. Later, we will get the baseball scouting report from head coach Dan Hubbs. I am Jordan Moore alongside John Jackson, and JJ, we have some breaking news right at the top. The guys leading into the show mentioned it. Josh Shaw reinstated today per release from Pat Hayden. Let's get your take first.
Well, I'm excited like everybody else. I think that, Josh, for what he brought to the team, even, prior to his departure, the leadership part of it, it's always good to get a little bit of a boost. It's not the same thing, but I would sort of equate it like when I was playing. Rodney Pete had the measles. We didn't know if he was going to play or not. And then at the end of the week, we found out he was going to play, and it just energized the team. I think this is going to have the same type of effect.
Well, let's get Sark's take. Trojans Live brought to you by your Southern California BMW Centers, exclusive partner of the SoCal BMW Crosstown Cup. For a limited time, get holiday credit of up to $3,500 on select models. Details at SoCalBMW.com. All right, Coach. Yeah, let's get to the news of the day right away. And you welcome Josh back. Talk about your reasoning, your expectations. What are your reasoning? What was your reasoning for bringing him back, and your expectations now going forward?
Well, I think the reality of it is, one is we pride ourselves on being the Trojan family, and when you have a family member that makes a mistake, that is remorseful for that mistake, and the punishment, in our opinion, fits kind of the mistake that he made. We need to welcome him back. We need to welcome him back with open arms. Where it goes from here, we don't know. He's going to practice tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I can't make any predictions that way, but it's great to have a family member back on board, somebody that we respect, somebody that we're proud is part of our team. And I know the guys are happy to have him back.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But what kind of shape do you expect Josh to be in? I mean, you're going to be just as surprised as everybody else tomorrow when he goes out there?
Really are. He got a chance to go to our meetings tonight here at 5 o'clock, which was, great for him. I know he's back into football mode and all those things. On that front, we're going to have to evaluate it, JJ, and be fair to Josh moving forward as – what he's capable of doing from a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint, and be fair to our team and what's in the best interest of our team. So I don't know. Probably a better question tomorrow at about 10:30 after practice, and then again on Thursday and so on and so forth. But all in all, bigger picture-wise, it's great to see a guy who made a mistake, acknowledge a mistake, be remorseful for the mistake, and then get an opportunity to earn his way back after serving a very severe penalty, a 10-game suspension. So it's great to have him back.
He has been gone a long time. How do you assimilate him back into the room, into the team?
Really pretty simply. Josh, as I said, as we've said before, and JJ mentioned it, he's been a really good leader on our team. He's a guy who has just done a fantastic job in the classroom. He's been great with our younger players and helping those guys come along. I don't think it's going to be very difficult for him. I think that there is a level of respect for Josh. I think the guys know, hey, he made a mistake. Josh has been very open about the mistake he made. He's trying to educate our younger players on how to handle situations a little bit better. So bringing him back into the fold is actually pretty easy. That might even be a better question for Cody, quite honestly, because he's in that locker room with those guys.
He was named a captain at the start of the season. Where's his standing with the team in terms of that?
Part of the, I guess, if you want to call it punishment with the 10-game suspension, we're going to remove the C off his jersey. He won't be a captain here for the final few games of the season. Which he understands, and it's clear to him he understands it. But part of being a captain here at USC is doing things right and doing it right all the time. Being a Trojan is an all-the-time thing. It's not a sometimes thing. That doesn't mean when we make mistakes we can't help guys and educate them and continue to develop them. But being a captain is a big deal here. And, taking the C off a jersey is not welcoming to anybody. Right. But he understands it, and we're moving forward.
What was the reaction of the team when you first told them? How did you tell them, and what was their initial reaction?
We didn't make a big deal, JJ.
Okay.
I didn't make a big deal early on when all of this occurred before the Fresno State game. And I haven't made a big deal about some of the other, kind of extraneous distractions, if you want to call them, that have been around the program. We've remained focused on the task at hand, and we play a really good opponent Saturday at 5 o'clock in UCLA that that needs our focus, not Josh coming back and putting all that into it. We're welcoming him back, but it's not the end-all, be-all. We've got to focus on the task at hand, and that's preparing to play Saturday at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, and as you said this morning, you sort of got used to life without him. So now, when you look at your pass defense and as you assemble things going forward, what have you seen that you've liked recently? Obviously, you've done very well against two of the nation's best, pass offenses, and now you have more challenges going forward and an extra piece to play with, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. The versatility that it provides us potentially is positive. I think the biggest thing that we're getting good at is, one, we're maturing. You think about a Dory Jackson 10 weeks ago is to where he is today, just his development, a John Plattenberg who's now healthy again, even a Leon McQuay, how far he's come. All those guys, and then the Sua playing the kind of outside linebacker spot, but him being involved in the pass coverage too. I think we're just playing better as a unit, and not necessarily, I know we are individually too, but as a unit we're playing better. We're communicating better. We don't bust coverages. I mean, you just don't see it. You're not seeing guys running wide open down the middle of the field, things of that nature. So all of those things coupled with, I think we're playing better up front. Our pass rush, I think, has steadily improved as the season's gone on. All those things coming together have made us play pretty good pass defense here over the last month of the season or so.
Now that we were going to see Josh walking around, what was his sort of initial reaction, to finally getting this weight off of his shoulders?
Well, I think there's a sense of relief. One, like anything, when any of us get put in a difficult situation, and you work your way out of it by doing it the right way, I think there's a sense of relief. I think, too, it's a senior season.
Yeah.
JJ, it's a senior year, and this guy, you got to remember, grew up in Southern California, went to the University of Florida, decides to transfer back to USC, becomes a really integral part of the program, is just fantastic in the community, great in the classroom, gets elected captain his senior year, makes a really horrible mistake, and then, boom, it's gone. And then to think, man, now I have a chance to play my last couple games, my senior year, against our two rivals, UCLA and Notre Dame. I think he's just really thankful more than anything else.
Yeah, you've dealt with distractions. This team over the last few years has pretty much dealt with everything. And I know you always want to make the UCLA game just like every other game, but how much you managing emotions? Were you already managing emotions this week in preparation for what is a rivalry game, and then a little added curveball to it?
I think our guys have been great. These guys. I don't spend a whole lot of time talking about all of the extraneous stuff. I just don't. I'm so focused on what we need to do. And they, in my opinion, seem to respond really well to that. Even when, you're coming off a loss, a tough loss and all that, and everyone thinks, well, how can they get back up and play again? We don't do a whole lot different. We just go right back to work, and we do it the way we know how to do it. The guys respond really well to it, and this week has been no different. We've practiced really well 2 days in a row now. The players really understand the game plan. They study the game plan. They're into it with one another. We've talked a lot recently about Nelson and Juju and how well they practice. I think that their practice habits are steadily becoming contagious. We're seeing more guys practice with that intensity to do things right all the time with amazing effort. And in turn, that's how you become a really good football team. So I know people think, well, how do you continue to improve in November? That's how you do it. You just keep going back out on the practice field and working at it. And in turn, that shows up on Saturdays on game day. And Saturday's going to be no different. I'm not naive to the fact that there's going to be emotions in this game and guys will be excited and fired up and all that. And there's a lot on the game. There's not just bragging rights in this game. There's a potential, division championship on the line in this ball game. But to make that all happen and to play the way we want to play, we got to practice great again tomorrow, and that's the most important thing.
Well, we talked about Josh Shaw coming back, but probably even more important, you're going to get J.R. Tavai back, get Plattenberg back. How is the health of those guys going to help you in this game?
Well, depth is critical. We all know this. UCLA is an up-tempo team, like we've been seeing. They're gonna increase the tempo on us. So the more bodies you have, the better. We all know about Brett Hundley and his ability to not only throw it, which is why Plattenberg is important in the secondary,
right,
but then run it, and why J.R. Tavai is important to continue to create pressure on him. People that can get him on the ground. He's a big, strong, physical guy, and he can run. So just all in all, overall depth and guys that we know can play play that have produced for us here throughout the season and can step right in and give us added depth.
Well, we're going to talk about Brett Hundley and the Bruins when we come back. You're listening to Rivalry Week. It's Trojans Live. Tonight's highlights are courtesy of 710 ESPN.